Don't say that.
What do you mean don't say that?
Yeah, don't say that, innit?
No, but Muslims protect other Muslims, right?
Yeah,
right?
Helping,
okay, khalas, no problem. Yeah, Allah is your protector, no problem. But when the Prophet ﷺ asked for Nasr, does that mean, did he say what you said?
Man yansurni, he will help me.
No. When the Prophet ﷺ went to Al-Aws al-Khazraj.
Yeah, to seek.
To seek what?
Support, innit?
Support and protection, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with a believer doing ista'ana with another believer.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I don't.
You don't need my protection. Okay, yeah, fine. You're being gentle, and I'm being gentle. No problem. You don't need it, brother. Don't.
Mohammed Hijab.
Suleyman.
Another time, maybe another time.
Habibi, just give me 5 minutes of your time.
No, not 5 minutes.
Okay, what even 1 minute? Let me just say something to you. Yeah. Okay. You said that democracy is kufr and shirk. That someone does it. If someone votes, they have committed kufr, and that you need to now do iqamat al-hujjah on them to the point where if they don't respond, that means that they are not Muslim anymore. Is that your position?
If they don't respond.
If they don't respond. So for example, someone is voting for the Labour Party for Jeremy Corbyn. Let's just be very clear, yeah? Someone is voting for Jeremy Corbyn. And that person who votes for Jeremy Corbyn, because democracy is a false ideology, and if someone now votes for the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, that person now has committed kufr. Now maybe he's jahil. So someone comes and says, okay, you know what? This is what the Quran says. Whatever you say that the Quran says, you bring a dalil that you think you have, and then the person says, I'm not. No, it's fine. Yeah, that you think you have. That's fine.
It's from the scholars as well. So.
From scholars said it, no problem. Whatever you say, and then they say, look, I'm not convinced with what you say. Is that person now a kafir, or is he stay as a Muslim?
He commits kufr.
So is he a kafir now? After the iqamat al-hajj has been done, is he a kafir now?
I feel it. It depends, innit? If he has any other excuses.
Okay, he's not mukrah. He's not forced. He's not jahil. Now his iqamat hajj is there. He's not mughma alay. He's not in a coma or something. He's not high. Anything. These things are not there.
Yeah, some scholars will say that he's.
Some scholars will say. Now, what will you say he's a kafir?
It's up to the scholars.
Say?
It's up to what the scholars say, innit? The scholars of Ahl Sunnah.
Like who? Who?
There's a number of them.
Can you give me one?
Sheikh Ahmed Musa Jibril.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so you say that he says he's first of all, no one can. Yeah, he's a mujtahid. I don't know. I've never heard him say anything like this by what you're saying. But let's say he yeah, no problem. But people like Ayman al-Zawahiri, let's just be open about it. Yeah, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, whoever you say is a scholar. I don't know who you say. Sorry, I'm not saying you believe in him. I'm just saying that. No, please. Say you say that person now has done his ijtihad. You say that now that person, the iqamah hajj has been done on him. The question is he now a kafir according to you?
Why does it have to be according to me?
Okay, in your belief, in your aqidah.
I believe generally if you vote, and you've got no excuse.
Yes. Then you are not to be prayed behind. Then you shouldn't. Yani, a Muslim woman can't marry you. That you're not to be buried in the maqabir of the believers, etc. Right?
Unless if you repent.
Unless if you repent. So this means that you've made takfir of that person, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, fine, no problem. Okay, I have a question. Is this hukum of takfir of that person? Is that something aqidah? Is this an issue of aqidah?
Yeah,
it is an issue of aqidah. And is aqidah something that stays the same? Creed, aqidah, is it something that stays the same, or is it something that changes?
It's aqidah that stays the same, but because of the realities change.
Yeah, I'm with you, but
change, innit? So
a mas'ala kufriya.
people need to be made aware as well.
But what is kufr today? If I worship a stone, if I do dhabh.
For example, the democracy, people need to be made aware and to be told that this is kufr.
I understand what you're saying, but let's say if I slaughter a cow for Jesus, or I don't know. Yeah. If I did that 500 years ago, shirk, right? If I did that 500 years ago, and I do it 500 years from now, that's shirk in both cases. So in this case, aqidah, the actual act of shirk stays the same. You're right. Now I just want one question to you, yeah? One question. Actually one before I give you that question.
I have to go now.
No, please. You can't leave people on the cliffhanger. That's wrong. We leave people on the cliffhanger. We haven't even finished yet. Let's finish. 1
minute is gone.
Okay, but it's vernacular. It's a figure of speech. No, Suleyman, Habibi, listen. Same. Okay, how about this? Let me just make this clear. You know, like someone who comes into parliament. Let's say someone goes into parliament, Muslim. He says, I'm going to have my own Islamic Party of Britain. Or let's say he says, I'm going to join the Labour Party. I'm being explicit with you, right? He goes, I'm going to join the Labour Party. I believe in Islam. I don't believe in their system, but I want to change the situation for the better. Is that person a kafir?
You can't change. You can't use the system to change.
Yeah. So is that person now? Has he committed an act of kufr? Has that person committed an act of kufr?
By going into
parliament, yeah.
It's kufr.
Yeah.
But he needs to be.
The Hujjah's there. If it's established on him now, is he kafir now?
Pardon?
The Hujjah's been established. Is he now kafir? He's got no other more of takfir. Is he a kafir now?
For going into
parliament, yeah. And he believes in Islam. He's differentiating himself from the law.
You can't believe in Islam.
You can't. So he's a kafir. That means he's a kafir. But I have a question for you, and beautiful, and that can never change. 500 years from now, 500 years before or after, that's the case.
There's kufr that is known by necessity.
Yes.
And there's kufr that isn't.
Okay, this is known by necessity, right?
This is where the scholars come and explain.
But if the Mu'an of takfir have been made clear, then that's done, yeah? If the person knows the Hujjah has been put on them, then it shouldn't matter what time it is. It's like slitting the throat of the cow, right?
No. They have to be explained and.
If they were explained, the Hujjah's been explained, I'm saying.
Yeah, some scholars.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, I've got a question. Yusuf alayhi salam. No, hold on. Yusuf alayhi salam. Was he part of the government of Egypt? In Surah Yusuf, have you read? Of course you have, yeah? Surah Yusuf alayhi salam, was he part of the government of the king of Egypt?
No, he wasn't. He was ruling by the law.
That's not my question. Was he working?
He was an Aziz, he was a minister of finance.
He was a minister.
Yeah.
So he was a minister, right?
Yeah.
So okay, does that mean if he's a minister, is he in charge of the affairs of the Kufri government at the time? Yes or no?
He's not in charge of the affairs.
Okay, he was not in charge of the economic affairs.
He was in charge of the economical affairs.
Okay, great. So he was in charge of the economic affairs.
But he had the position to rule.
So in this country, you have something called a position. It's called Chancellor of the Exchequer. What do you think the Chancellor of the Exchequer does in this country?
He manages the finances.
He manages what affairs?
Financial.
The financial affairs. What kind of financial are they? Economic, right?
Yeah, economic.
All right. Yusuf alayhi salam. No problem. You're saying I can't. I'm saying Yusuf alayhi salam. Was his religion the same or different to the religion of the king of Egypt?
It's
different because it says Din al-Malik, and he made it clear in the surah that it's a different religion. So that the king was not Muslim. Was it a Muslim government? Was it Hukm bima anzal Allah? Was it the ruling? Was that king in Egypt? Was he ruling by what Allah has revealed? Was that king of Egypt ruling by what? Oh, hold on. Was the king of Egypt ruling by what Allah has revealed?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, great. Now, who was under who? Was Yusuf alayhi salam in charge of the king, or was the king in charge of Yusuf? Okay, hold on. What is a king?
Obviously, the king is the one that has.
He's the top. He's the head of state, right? Okay. So the head of state, not nowadays.
What's your argument by mentioning this?
What's my argument by mentioning this? Oh, you said that it's shirk to vote. You said it's shirk and kufr. Some scholars say and that you're no longer Muslim if you come into parliament. But Yusuf, and that's the case 500 years from now, 500 years from now. It's always the case. It's a matter of aqidah.
No, it's different because.
Yeah, but you mentioned that if the Hujjah's there, if the explanation is given or whatever, yeah?
Changes.
No problem. But Yusuf does Yusuf need Iqamatul Hujjah? Does a prophet need iqamatul hujjah?
The prophets had different shari'ahs that was revealed to them.
No problem, but aqidah is not shara, by the way. Shara man qablana is fiqh.
No, but the laws,
Shara man qablana is fiqh.
the laws that Yusuf alayhi salam are different to...
Shara man qablana is fiqh. Listen to me. Shara man qablana, in usul al-fiqh, there's some things which are mukhtalafun fiha, some things which are differed on. One of them is shara man qablana. Is the sharia of those who came before us, is it something we accept as oh sharia is different opinion? I accept that. Or is it nasikha, this sharia, but that's fiqh. We are not talking about fiqh, we're talking about aqidah. You said aqidah cannot change. If the matter of getting involved, if getting involved in a parliament is kufr, then it should be kufr today and it should be kufr at that time.
Yeah, of course.
So now, Yusuf alayhi sorry?
Yusuf was not in a democracy.
Oh, wait a minute. But it's not in a democracy, but hold on. Wait. Yusuf was not in a democracy. But if it was not a democracy, it doesn't have to be only democracy. Is that the only kufr? So if it's communism, is that okay?
Of course not.
Okay, if it's feminist, if they're ruling by liberalism, is that alright?
All these other systems are...
Okay, so it doesn't matter what the king was ruling by, so long as he was ruling by something that was other than Allah, it's hukm bighayr ma anzal Allah. What are you talking about? Akhi, the point is that you've just made takfir indirect of Yusuf alayhi salam.
I didn't. What do you
Is
mean?
Yusuf a kafir in your opinion?
No, of course
Okay,
not.
khalas. No. Is what he committed kufr?
No, of course
Okay,
not.
so if I do something that a prophet did, I'm committing kufr, but the prophet can do it?
What do you mean?
If I could do something the prophet did, it's kufr, but if the prophet did it, it's not kufr. Why? If I vote or come into parliament, British parliament, it's hukm bighayr ma anzal Allah.
To vote for somebody to become a legislator.
No, forget about voting. Me being the MP myself, me.
Okay.
I'm the MP, yeah?
MPs make
If I want to be an MP of a Muslim to make the situation better, you're saying that's kufr.
Yeah, of
But Yusuf alayhi salam, he was a minister according to what you said. Yeah. So if I'm a financial, if a Muslim is the chancellor of the exchequer today, you're saying he's committing kufr, but Yusuf can be.
He's under the system of kufr though. So he's...
But the system of Yusuf was kufr. That system was kufr.
It was the system of the king.
The system of the king was a kufri system.
But he was able, but Yusuf was in a position to implement and rule by the laws.
No, he wasn't.
Of course he was.
No, he wasn't. The king was not. No, he wasn't. No. Sorry. He even said in the Quran.
Yusuf alayhi salam was ruling by kufr.
I'm saying. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Yusuf was not in charge of Egypt. Was he in charge of Egypt?
Allah.
Was Yusuf in charge of Egypt? Was Yusuf in charge? Was Yusuf? Was. No, yeah, but not that kind of authority because the king was higher than him, right or wrong? The king was higher than him in implementation of law, yes or no? Who's more higher in a hierarchy, my friend? A king or a minister? Who?
But Yusuf alayhi salam was a prophet.
You just said yourself. Who asked who to be what? Yusuf asked the king. He said, "I am the trustworthy and the Amin, the Qawiyul Amin. I have the ability to do this, right?" So who came to who? Yusuf alayhi salam petitioned the king to become a minister. That king was ruling by what other than Allah has ruled. Correct or not? Because in the Quran it says, "Fi dinil malik," the religion of the king. I was not going to put him in the religion of the king, meaning by necessity, the king has a different religion to Yusuf. He was not a Muslim. You're telling me that Yusuf was somehow in charge of the king?
So what's your point?
My point is, you said it's kufr to go into an MP, to be an MP. But then here's the point. This is where takfiri, not you. I'm not saying you, by the way. I don't know where you stand on this. But the takfiri movement, yes? I'm not saying, what do you mean there's no such thing, yeah? No such thing. There's no people that make takfir. No, that doesn't work.
Everyone makes, Allah makes takfir.
Yeah, Allah makes takfir, but some people make takfir unjustly, correct?
Yeah, there are unjust takfir.
Like for example, at Jolani. Do you know Jolani? Do you know Jolani?
Yeah.
Who is Jolani?
Everyone knows Jolani.
Who is he? Tell the people.
You know,
he was the head of what? Jabhat al-Nusra, yeah, in Syria. Remember when they were fighting? He came on Al Jazeera. This is online, you can find it. He said that the ISIS, they are killing our women and our children and taking them as slaves. They're taking our women and children as slaves. Yani they're killing us, they made takfir of us, we're not Muslim, yeah? So imagine this, you have two groups, both of them, sorry to be clear, they're both takfiris, in my opinion, yeah? No problem. There are two groups that are takfiri groups, Jabhat al-Nusra and ISIS. Jabhat al-Nusra are saying, these groups here, they are making takfir of us and they are taking our women and children as slave and cattle, yeah? Now, is Jolani okay with, is his criticism of ISIS, is that a good criticism or is that a bad criticism? Is he right or wrong?
That's his opinion.
It's his opinion. Is his opinion right or is it wrong?
Who cares what he thinks?
Who cares what he thinks?
Yeah.
Look, I have to be honest. No problem.
I need to go now.
No, but look, Suleyman, with all due respect, you have provided no shred of evidence. I've given you Quran. Do you know Ibn Taymiyyah, what he says about this? You accept Ibn Taymiyyah as an authority?
A shred of evidence because
You said now that if someone comes into the parliament, they've committed kufr, that the iqama or hujjah can be put on them, and it
the parliament to be an MP.
to be a minister just like Yusuf was.
MP.
Yeah.
And make laws.
MP, wait, who's higher? The Chancellor of the Exchequer of the MP.
Make laws.
So what? So what?
To be an MP.
No, hold on. To make law.
Legislate.
No, hold on.
And only Allah.
No, MPs. Let me correct you.
Is the legislator.
Hold on.
Is he not?
Yes, it's true. I agree with that. I agree with that point.
That's what MPs
أفحكم الجاهلية تبغون. I believe in all that. I believe in all the ayat. فلا وربك لا يؤمنون حتى يحكموك فيما شجر بينهم ثم لا يجدوا في أنفسهم حرجا مما قضيت ويسلموا تسليما. I believe in all of it.
So
However, here my point is this.
We believe in this. We don't
No,
believe in
listen.
democracy. So.
Akhi, you're missing the point. Listen to me. And
Muslims should not vote.
Aki, listen. I don't care about the vote. Don't vote. Listen. Here, Ibn Uthaymeen. I said this to you before. He now said in Ibn Uthaymeen, Salafi, Saudi. He said, listen to me.
I don't feel comfortable around this woman. I'm going to go here.
Akhi, come on.
Take it next time.
Suleyman, let's finish. He said that it's okay to vote in America. Is he committing kufr by saying that?
I don't agree with what he's saying there.
Is he committing kufr by saying it?
But other scholars.
Al-Alwan. Do you accept Al-Alwan?
Yeah, you talk about Allah.
And what do you think about him?
But he was obeying the
Those who say that, I believe.
Ibn Taymiyyah, listen. Do you want to read what Ibn Taymiyyah said on the issue? I've got it in my
Scholars like Ali Al-Khudayn, Nasir Fahad.
Yeah. And Abu Bakr Baghdadi, yeah. Okay, no. Just say.
And the evidence is outweighed
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, for all we know, he is
those
with.
evidences outweigh
Sorry.
the scholars that say
Yeah,
that it's
what
okay to
evidences?
vote.
What evidences? I'm telling you now.
The evidence is like in al-hukmu illa lillah wa la yushrik fi hukmihi ahada.
I don't care.
Voted for all these systems that allow.
Look, I've just told you. Ibn Taymiyyah said, yeah, I can read it to you if you like in Arabic and translate. If you like, I can get it for you. He said that if you can get into a system, even if it's a kufri system, and change the matter, yeah, even if it's all of it is not going to be Sharia, yani. Change the matter for the better, then that you can do it.
Ibn Taymiyyah said
that.
Yeah, but you need to, in what context? So does that apply now to go?
And he said just like Yusuf done. Sorry, just like Yusuf done it. So how did? Wait a minute, hold on.
Yusuf's done it.
Yeah. What? Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad is our example. How did he change?
What? So Yusuf is not?
Of course, Yusuf.
Say it.
Prophet
Say it.
Muhammad is our example.
Okay, so Yusuf was wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
So what is it then? Was Yusuf right or was he wrong? Just let me know. Was Joseph in the Quran, was he wrong to do what he done?
Your explanation is, I think, is wrong.
What is my explanation? I was saying facts. Joseph went into his become a minister. Is that right or wrong?
Explained it, and now you're trying to support.
Okay, what's my explanation? My explanation was that the king of Egypt at that time was a kafir, correct? Was the king of Egypt a kafir or a Muslim?
Prophet Muhammad has shown us how to do it.
Akhi, it was the king of Egypt a kafir or was he a Muslim at that time? The king of Egypt was a kafir because it says fi din al-malik. The Quran says that we are not going to let him go into the religion of the Malik.
Okay.
That's the Quran, it says that. It's not hadith, it's not the aqwal of the ulama. Quran, clear, beautiful, clear, precise. Khalas. So the deen of the Malik is, the king has got one belief and Joseph has got another, which is Islam. And he said himself, look what Joseph said in the same surah, he said, إني تركت ملة قوم لا يؤمنون بالله وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون واتبعت ملة آبائي إبراهيم وإسحاق ويعقوب. Yeah?
That's what he was saying.
So clearly he was making his position clear. Joseph was believing, he left. He said, إني تركت ملة قوم لا يؤمنون بالله. I have nothing to do with, I have left off the way of the people that don't believe in Allah. Yeah, and هم بالآخرة هم كافرون, and they with the آخرة they disbelieve. واتبعت ملة آبائي إبراهيم وإسحاق ويعقوب. Yeah? ما كان لهم أن يشرك بالله من شيء. They are not going to do shirk of Allah. So this is the one that we have to remember. We're talking about a prophet. Yeah? ما كان لهم أن يشرك بالله من شيء. ذلك من فضل الله علي وعلى الناس ولكن أكثر الناس لا يشكرون. This is the Quran. So he made it clear what his position is. He said, my position is I do away with the people of these people. But then at the same time, he's the same guy who went to the Malik, the king, and he said, yeah, I want to be on the khaza'in of the ard. I want to, let me be of the khaza'in of the ard. Let me take control of the situation.
Take control, so that's what.
Yes, but he was doing isti'dhan. He was doing isti'dhan. He was seeking permission from the king. If he could overpower the king, he would not need to do isti'dhan. He would not need to seek permission from the king. He was in prison. وَدَخَلَ مَعَهُ السِّجْنَ فَتَيَانِ. يعني if you're telling me that Joseph could overpower the king after coming from prison, this is a pathetic reading of the Quran, akhi. He was in prison. He was in prison. He came out of the sijn. He was in prison.
And then he became the Malik.
Yeah, no. But then who made him like that? Who put him in that position? The king put him in that position after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, obviously Allah done this. But the king gave him that position. So the king is a kafir. He's doing hukm bi ghayri min anzal Allah. But then now Yusuf is coming in to try and rectify the matter as much as he could, just like he did in the decision. He says, أَأَرْبَابٌ مُتَفَرِّقُونَ خَيْرٌ أَمِ اللَّهِ الْوَاحِدِ الْقَهَّارِ. That's what he said in the decision, the same thing. Okay, so Suleyman, no problem. But you have to understand something, akhi. It's not a joke, akhi. Suleyman, listen to me. No, it's not a joke, akhi. But Suleyman, listen to me carefully. Last thing before you leave. Last thing. Okay, you can go after this, no problem. But Suleyman, Habibi, listen. The matter is serious. The matter is serious. You didn't hear what I said before. You've never heard this before. I want you to think about it, akhi. Because
I've read this argument before.
no problem. But you had no responses to it. The issue is your responses were insufficient. Suleyman, you have to. Habibi, listen. The deen of Islam has not been made the way you think has been made. Wallah, it's not. Uqsumu billahi al-azim, it's not. Because let me tell you something. I'll be honest with you, akhi. Safku dima, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ قَتَلَ مُؤْمِنًا مُتَعَمِّدًا فَجَزَاؤُهُ جَهَنَّمْ خَالِدًا فِيهَا وَغَضِبَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَلَعَنَهُ. You know, whoever kills a mu'min intentionally, then he's going to hell forever, and so on and so on. Bro, the issue of safku dima, spilling the blood of the mu'min, which starts with takfir, and then muharaba, this guy's a harbi. You start, that's how it works, akhi. You start off by saying, this guy is a kafir. Then you say he's muharib, or he's doing muwalat, and then khalas, you can kill him. Basically, that's how it works. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying, it doesn't work like that. We haven't seen this, we haven't seen it around. We haven't seen people try and kill other people. We've seen it, akhi. I'm sorry to say. That's how it starts. It starts off by saying he's a kafir.